Hola, mi gente, and welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, queries, statements, or otherwise, we have multiple ways to be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those that need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is @SkimPod. That is SKIMPOD. That's where I like to fight. For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. That's crunchy being spelled with a K. We're available via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and a partridge in a pear tree. And of course the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show. And a band plays on here at Skim, and to that end we provide you a Podcast, a musical discussion podcast built on a hip-hop foundation, and you know what? It's dope. Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox 2099, your host, the Internet's Tayrell713, and me? Well, damn it, I'm the real ODP.
Prepare any lyrics this week. Give me some lyrics.
Moose Pile Surprise.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, my favorite Christmas song is, of course,
A rumbusting.
It's Prisoner's Christmas?
Hang Off Mistletoe. I'm going to get to know you better this Christmas. And
How about Baby It's Cold Outside?
I remember somebody telling me once, because I discussed how good that song is, and their response to me was, that song is so good, it could be about anything. It could be, this Tuesday will be a very special Tuesday for me, because like I said, Donny Hathaway's This Christmas is one of the greatest songs of all time, not just a Christmas song. But there you have it. It's Stays Crunchy and Milk. We in the building.
I have not heard that song yet this year. I haven't really heard. I forgot where I was at. Yeah, I was at AutoZone getting parts for my car this weekend, and they were playing like gospel Christmas songs, and I was just like,
Gospel music, man. It gets you energized. Like, I went back and watched that Golden Girls gospel intermix video thing the other day. A couple times. It's just so good.
yeah, I just don't like gospel music that much. Like it's just not my thing.
I mean, like, it made feel like going to church feel like a theatrical performance of sorts, whereas like I was used to the Catholic style of like, here's the story time. All right, now stand. Now kneel. Now go back to standing. Now kneel some more. Now shake hands with everybody. Now go back to kneeling. Now those of you who have been initiated can come get a cookie and some drink, while the rest of you watch. All right, now.
You mean the wafer or the real
Yeah,
cookie?
the body of Christ.
Oh.
That part always bothered me in the Catholic situation. You can't take the sacrament unless you've been confirmed.
I said something to the lady in front of me. She's like an older lady who's a churchgoer. I was like, they don't fact check. I'm like, if I go up there and receive the body of Christ and the blood, aka juice,
Yeah.
I was like, who's gonna call me on it?
Nobody.
I was like, but that's between me and this supposed God.
Yeah, like I guess it's almost like honesty through paranoia.
I was raised African Methodist. Everybody take every first Sunday
Yeah.
is communion. It's Communion Sunday. Everybody rock their whites, you know what I'm saying, and so forth and so on. Catholic churches every week. Literally, they do it every week.
Oh wow.
Hell, I think every service, right? If you went on Wednesday, you could get your body of Christ on, and on Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember like I think it was just straight up down crackers and juice. But I like as I got older and we went to like other churches, they had like this combo where it was like a shot glass,
Yeah.
and a little in the plastic, and then a little piece of cracker on top of the shot glass.
Oh, double up right quick, hey.
And then it was like pre-packaged.
So like when I was raised down south, they had a little unleavened bread. It was basically a little piece of cracker that he put up break off in your hand.
Yeah.
When I went to church in Atlanta, so Memphis to Atlanta, they actually did the wafers, which tastes like styrofoam. But they also use real wine. And the first time I took the sacrament, I didn't know it was real wine. My very first, first Sunday at Big Bethel down in Atlanta. That's the name of the church, Big Bethel people. Y'all like think I'm talking bad about somebody. I take I shoot, the juice, thinking it's juice, because it's juice everywhere else I've been, every other church I've been to. And my chest is on fire, cuz
your first experience.
Yeah, I've never drank anything. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my mama's face be like, I think they use real wine. Well.
The thing about like watching it at Catholic churches is that like everyone gets into a single file line. they'd usually have 2 single file lines because they'd have like 3 sets of pews, so they'd have the 2 rows. Mm-hmm. And I would just watch multiple people over and over and over and over again just drink out of the same cup, and I'd be like, "How is no one getting sick?"
That's another thing. In the Catholic version of the ceremony, it's just, it's one cup.
That's gross.
Whereas at in my church, like I say, AME church, it's a special little platter. It had little shot glasses in it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they had the special platter like only for shot glasses.
Yeah,
they would literally just take one giant gold chalice, goblet-looking thing.
Everybody hit that.
He would do the magical voodoo on it, and then they would have one person hold the cookie tray, and then the priest would hold the goblet. People would come up. Someone would place a cracker on their tongue. Then they'd knock back a swig from the chalice from the priest's hand. He'd take it back. They get online.
Was it brass? Or
it was like gold looking.
Well, it might have been brass because I think it might be brass is the metal that doesn't hold on to
It's like antimicrobial.
Yeah. So if it's brass, it was all good.
But it's not like they're wiping it off in between. Each person literally.
No, but brass doesn't hold on.
I've been there. I've seen them. They do wipe it off between.
They wipe it off after.
No, I've seen them wipe off between.
Maybe you went to the sanitary church.
Maybe.
Huh, very interesting. Yeah. They had time to wipe that bitch off between. Worked the Saints Cyril and Methodius, which I believe they changed the name to. I know they changed the name to Transfiguration Parish when they was changing names of churches here. The Cleveland area a few years back.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Cleveland church be willing to be acknowledged with the word trans.
That was before the word trans was how you would say more like a progressive word.
It was a transitional word.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine especially this time of year, a bunch of people drinking out the same drink, and it's Christmas time, and you probably get a lot of colds that way, maybe.
I was just reading they expect it to be a terrible
flu season.
Flu season, yeah.
Everyone around me's been coughing, and it's making me fucking paranoid.
I
get like that sometimes. When it's just when it's 1 or 2 coughing, it's okay, I get it.
It's hard to tell though if it's allergies for some people or if it's our shitty ass office building.
Well, I have this dry cough that I have at the office. That I'm over there kind of by the vent. So I actually think that in this case, for me, it's just a little dry, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That I've had now for a bit. So can't call it. I hope nobody's sick. I don't want you getting sick. I don't want nobody passing on.
I've got 2 sick days left. I'm trying to keep those bitches going to next year.
Yeah.
I've never been in a position where I could carry over more than 1 day.
Yeah, I think hopefully if this year go good, I'll have my days and some to spare. I'm not really anticipating going anywhere this year.
I want to get to the point where I can have those sick days in my back pocket so I can play hooky.
Respect it.
You got 4. What are you up to? 3 weeks or 4 weeks now?
A vacation? 4.
Yeah. You got 4 weeks of hooky.
I know, but I want spontaneous hooky.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm dying.
I want to wake up on a Thursday and be like, fuck it, I'm done.
I got pulled into the office the other day to review my days off because I was like, all right, I think I'm good. But do me a favor, take a look because it's not letting me put these last 4 hours of vacation time in. She go through it. Turns out I had excess. What it is, I had taken some, I want to say either personal days or sick days or something, but it wasn't in
one of the systems.
One of the 2 systems we use for keeping track of time. And so she had to go back through, clean it up, figure it out, and as it's all said and done, I got 2 sick days that I am carrying over. I'm not to be bothered with at this point. But I also got 4 hours of vacation now I need to stick somewhere before this year is up. Mm-hmm. And that's in addition to me already having taken, I got a day off next week, and the following Monday off I got off. So it turns out I had a lot of time left. And like I said, I got to do something with it.
That's quite the change from a couple weeks ago where you're like, I don't have any time off for the rest of the year.
Yeah, as it turns out. Well, that's just because I had already taken I'd already squared those days off. But now, as it turns out, I got 2 days that I'm carrying over, and 4 hours I need to do something with. So I got to figure that particular out as well. She was like, she hit me back twice. Like, you have 4 hours vacation time, and you need to do something with it, because it's vacation time in our company. It's use it or lose it. So,
well, they're actually letting us carry ours over.
You're supposed to be able to carry it over to the first quarter.
Yeah,
but
even then, my boss is like, he's like, I would just let you use it whenever. He's like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
You know.
But on the books it says.
Yeah. That's what they tell you, but then there's like a wink next to it. I actually have my one-on-one scheduled for next Monday, so I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, we had ours already. It was just a one-on-one. What can you do?
I was about to. What is your actual production number? Percentage.
148%.
148%. 103%. And I was very proud of it. But I was genuinely proud of it because I come in, I do what I'm supposed to do, I go home. I'm not a problem. I help out where I'm supposed to. I participate. I do everything I'm supposed to, but I am a basic ass employee. I come in, I do the work, and I'm out that bitch. And I like that notion of me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. My daily goal for what I'm supposed to do is 21,
right.
And I routinely do 2 to 3 times that every day without even like thinking about it. Like even when we left just now,
yeah.
I'm already 12 over that, and it's only lunchtime.
And so when I sat with my boss and did my numbers for the year, and she said that, I go, all right, cool. I am over production. I am over what's the other
quality.
Quality, which means we should be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's been a with us actually having a little bit more work this year, it's a little easier to make those goals.
Mm-hmm.
Quality you can only get 100%, but
honestly, you guys went from me thinking you guys were out the door to like we thriving.
Well, honestly, I don't think me and T were ever like scared. I feel like
I was scared for you.
Shit, don't be scared for me if
it's more I'm just mentally prepared. I've been here. It's like that's another thing.
Yeah,
having walked this walk once before, I'm not saying it makes me cool, but it does give me a sense of okay, I know how.
Well,
this
part
works.
of it too for me is it's a selfish thing
Yeah.
that you guys have been with me this entire time. So like, unless you left on your own volition, it'd be real tough.
Yeah. No,
you don't really miss the like the day to day. You mostly miss the people and the routine of it. Yeah, being laid off isn't that bad. It's just like the other stuff that comes with it.
Yeah. So far, so good. I have at this point, knock on this drywall. I hadn't had an error in 2 years. 2 whole years. I'm pretty happy about that. Like, I'm like, I may not be the fastest man alive, but I ain't fucked up once. So I take that as okay.
Yeah.
And my boss seemed to be in agreement with that. You know what I'm saying? Also, what was dope is basically everything she reads to me, like saying that I do, was everything I said that I did. And then she just took my review and made it her review. Like, even better.
Yeah, I never really know what to write for that shit. And because I'm always so busy with work that I always end up doing it at the last second, so it's always just cobbled together, like, hurriedly.
I always get like inspirational when I start writing that shit.
Yeah.
Like when it's like, oh yeah, let me talk about this and I did this and I did that, because nobody else is gonna do it for you.
Exactly. Because they'll just forget, because they watching over a whole set of people and so forth. It's like, let me remind you, I help out here in this apartment that I don't even fuck with.
Yeah, that also came up how they, we're not supposed to help out in this one department, but then they laid off the person that was supposed to help the person. So it's like, well, we back to doing it again. Nobody, like, saying nobody cares isn't a word. It's just like they just don't. Like, oh, I forgot about that. We shouldn't have laid that lady off. It's funny seeing people like outside of work,
It's like seeing your teacher when you was little. I'm like, what the hell?
I've never seen a teacher outside of work before.
Oh, yeah. Every now and again,
Outside of school.
I bump into a teacher outside of school and be like, what the hell? All of this makes no sense. What is this?
You mean you have a
I
social
take that
life?
back. I seen a teacher at the Goodwill one time, which as a kid was probably like the most shameful place to see a person. And we go to the Goodwill is cool now, but when you were a little kid, it wasn't that cool. And I see my music teacher, but she was crazy.
That's so wild to me because now, depending, I guess, on where you live at, going to the Goodwill is the move. You know what I'm saying? I went to the vintage store. I went to the Goodwill to get some vintage this, that, and the third.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Yeah, but depending on what neighborhood you lived in,
Yeah, going to Goodwill was
there
like...
was a stigma to it about it, like you were poor.
And it's like, in reality, you could have been getting a dope little London fog and keeping yourself warm all winter. It's just, I don't know.
I wish I could find a dope London fog right now.
So it's interesting how that has worked out. How, you know what I'm saying, how it was embarrassing to some. I guess embarrassing if you had to go to Goodwill, but people who voluntarily went to Goodwill, it was not embarrassing probably to them. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I don't think like the Goodwill would have been embarrassing, but I think you would have been embarrassed no matter where you were going.
Yeah,
because you were self-conscious about your situation.
Yeah.
Or your perceived situation.
I would tell Vanessa stories about how I remember this one time we had like I was in a group in junior high. I was in a group called VIP, Vocational Information Program. They were trying to teach certain kids basically how to do well in the coming job world. Teach how to do interviews and stuff like that. There, we had tutors who would help us out with our math assignments. It was basically the smart kids. Perceived to be smart kids. They was like, let me get these
kids with a future.
Yeah, let me get them a little something extra. And we had an award ceremony at the end of the year at the end of the whatever for that. And my mom was at the award ceremony, and I remember he's like, they had whatever food they had, and like my buddy Chuck D wasn't eating his fruit cup. My mom was like, "Can I have that fruit cup?" You know what I'm saying? Because my mom was eat the fruit, and I was so embarrassed. Like, oh my God, how dare you take this? Like Chuck D wouldn't eat it. My mom would eat it, and I was just, even years later, I still feel the wash of embarrassment of that happening. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's fucking food, bro. It's like, it's cool, man. Yeah, it's like Chuck D wouldn't go eat it. Your mom was gonna eat it.
I used to like going to the thrift store with my grandmother. I didn't think I would get stuff from there all the time. I didn't feel poor.
Yeah.
It was like a mystery because like you go to like a normal department store and like everything was brand new, but it was all uniform.
Yeah.
The thrift store could have been anything.
Yeah.
It was like treasure hunting.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely a thing like when I was growing up, it was definitely perceived as a thing of poorness.
Yeah.
It's just different. Like when you're in a situation, like I said, it's cool now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? It ain't even cool in some circles, but I mean, I would love to be able to go more. The one near me sucks.
Yeah.
But
I used to like going to the Unique Thrift over at Southgate.
Yeah.
It felt like a giant warehouse of things. I don't know if it's because I was a kid and everything seemed big to me, or if that place was really just that big.
It was pretty big, and
it was like two stores combined because there was like the front portion where like all the households and toys and stuff were to the left, and then there was like clothes interwoven in the middle, and then on to the right it was like household. I remember going over there and always looking for the McDonald's cups because I was trying to collect the Jurassic Park cups and stuff. And then when you went into the back, it was more clothes and bedding and that kind of furniture.
I used to like going up. They had that giant staircase going up into it. In the
where you park.
Yeah,
man, look at that. I remember. I remember the brick steps.
Yeah,
and there was like some sort of like office building next to it that I never knew what was in there.
Yeah, that whole area was dope though. Like,
it felt like you were like a Scooby-Doo like Doc's mystery kind of thing. Because like
where's this headed?
Well, because like the giant mall was across the street with the Kmart and like all the normal stuff, the hometown buffet, all that shit was across the street.
Yeah.
But like when you came over there to the thrift store, it was like you knew where the thrift store was, but all the little buildings around it, you didn't know what the hell that was. And then there was like a tiny strip mall.
It was in the back of the mall, like to a building by itself, and it was like
you had to go through like a driveway through two buildings to get through to the parking lot.
It was like
and the one was, it was like a strip mall, like a little mini strip mall next to like 4 stores. It was like a video game exchange.
It's more than one. It's like like what's that place near you on like where Pearl and Parma meet? It's like a bunch
like where the record exchanges and stuff.
Yeah, like how it's all like, okay, here is a strip mall, and here's a strip mall, and here's a strip mall, and in the front of it, it's like a bunch of like, it looks kind of creepy because like nothing's around it, because like the Home Depot's this way, but it's the back of the Home Depot, and this is Mr. Chicken, but it's the back of Mr. Chicken.
Well, and even like when we were kids, that Home Depot didn't even exist.
I think it might have been DIY back then, but
I remember like down the street on the corner was Handy Andy.
I ain't thought about DIY forever.
Yeah.
It like, and the way it's set up is like, if you didn't know it was there, like you wouldn't know, because like it was like, it looked like a dock.
Yeah,
like,
and it was in the building that was behind the other strip mall.
Yeah.
Because there was the giant strip mall with the Kmart and stuff.
Wow.
But then like
that was over to the right.
Yeah, but if you go behind, like directly behind the thrift store, is where like the mall was. They had like the Durham Sporting Goods.
Dunham's.
Yeah,
yes.
Dunham's. There was like originally that's where Kitty City was.
I remember Lotto King City. Yeah.
There was like a movie theater over there, and then that was where I used to go to TNT Fashions.
Yeah, TNT and
Your boy used to rock a Nietzsche, NYC. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I got my giant Phyllis.
Steelers. But yeah, Dunham's
Got my Detroit Pistons Grant Hill jersey there.
With the
turquoise
Pistons?
shirt with the
with
horse.
the horse on it.
Yeah, that area was it was what deep discounts used to be over there.
I think there was a book rack over there too.
There was a lot of stuff over there. Then there was the gun shop across the street from there, which this gun shop, I always wanted to go into it, not for the guns, but they had stuffed animals all in the front of it. Not stuffed animals, what do you call it? Taxidermy animals. Yeah. Like all through the store.
Me and my grandmother used to eat that Arby's right there all the time. The one that was right next to the cemetery.
Yep. And now that place is like, I think maybe it's nothing over there at all. That get-go is even gone.
I remember I had to teach my grandmother how to drive around in that area because there was one time where she took me to the Toys R Us by the mall, but then she didn't realize that you could drive under that bridge and come down. What is that right there?
That's
Northfield.
Okay. So yeah, over the bridge, that's Miles.
Well, you would come down Miles to get to the Toys R Us.
Yeah.
But then when you got to the corner where like it used to be Circuit City, you'd make the right there where it used to be like Sun Appliances and stuff.
Yeah, when you going back under there and it turns into Miles.
Yeah, and there's like a McDonald's and stuff. My grandmother didn't know that you can make the right at that light and go over to like Southgate.
Yeah, because it does look kind of.
What she would do is she would drive all the way back down Miles to Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And then take Broadway all the way back out to Southgate.
Boy.
Yeah, rather than just make that right and drive for 2 minutes. I remember I was in the car with my parents one time, and they did that. Like I remember going from Southgate over to the Toys R Us, and like I put it in my memory bank. So when I went out there with my grandmother again, I convinced her to take me to Toys R Us, probably get some Pokemon or something. And then she tried to do the old down Miles back to Broadway, back to Southgate. I'm like, no, Grandma, do this. I'm like, trust me. I watched Dad do it.
Yeah.
And she put enough faith in like a 12-year-old to believe me. Because I think she knew that like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So we went through there, and she's like, "I can't believe I've been doing this for all these years."
Yeah, the Toys R Us was across the street from what used to be the biggest mall in the world, well, the biggest mall in the United States, Randall Park Mall, and then now that's like an Asian market now.
Yeah, I've been there. It's actually a very nice market.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they knocked it all down.
Now that's all Amazon.
Yeah.
But
the Asian market I've been to.
that's the
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us, yeah.
It's a very lovely Asian market as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't been over there.
It's like, it's big as Toys R Us was, but that seems massive for a market, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was like, the mall is an Asian market? Wow.
No, just the Toys R Us.
Man, that's the sad thing though. About like, I understand change is inevitable, but like stuff from your past that these days, like when you're like, oh, the Toys R Us that you used to go to as a kid and get all your video games and these things that like to this day, like I still play Pokemon Go on my phone from time to time. Like I'm still aware that the games came out. Like I have some the collectibles at home.
2-day community day this weekend. All the ones that from the whole year are going to be out.
Oh yeah, like they did last year.
Yes, I cleaned up on the day out there with a couple I missed at routes.
Yeah. But and then it's like to think that place doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just it's an Asian market. It's like I stopped at my mom's a couple weeks ago to drop my grandmother's birthday gift off, and they tore down the house. Like so, where I grew up on a dead end, and it was only 3 houses on the dead end. So it was like the one on the corner, the one behind it, and then my grandmother's house. So now they tore down the one that was on the corner, so it's just an empty lot. And the house that was in front of my grandmother's is still there. But like when you turn the right to come to my mom's house, 'cause my mom lives like 8 houses from the corner there, you can see through where the house used to be on the corner back to my grandmother's house. So the house I grew up in right now is visible from the street. And my grandmother in the backyard had this giant willow tree, and it looks like over the years the tree is like broken apart, and now there's like a giant tree limb just laying on the house I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
So it's sad to like think that like in my mind, if I close my eyes, I can recall every nook and cranny of that house, the whole layout, everything, and to drive by and see it now with just a tree laying on it is kind of fucking sad.
Yeah. I remember when having, it was rare that a house got knocked down in the street, and it was exciting because, like, oh man, I got a fucking field to play in. We can play football here.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every other, like where I grew up, especially after like the whole Anthony Sowell thing where I lived at. Like, it's like if that house was fucking abandoned, we knocking it down. And just like I just remember, fucking new construction there, like and. Like how it was thriving at first, and now it is definitely not. So, but they starting to do like some cool stuff around. It's this one building that they built out of shipping crates, like on Kinsman. Like it's like laid out like boom, boom. But this is not a visual podcast, but I'm showing them it's just like built like this up, and it's like it's a pretty cool little building. And like where you live at. Where you lived rather, they're putting up like art in the street and like they're
there's like kind of like some weird statue things that are on Broadway there that like I don't know what the fuck they are, but like they're like we're here and some student did it or something.
And like they got like a like an extreme sport arena or something like that, whatever that is, like to go skateboarding and
that where they built that on the property where I was born.
Okay.
The hospital used to be there, and they tore that down.
They tore down, what was that? St.
Alexis.
Alexis, yeah,
that was where I was born.
Oh, they tore down St. Alexis.
Yeah, they tore that down a long time ago.
I know. But it's like this is an exercise in things that's closed. Like you said, Sun Electronics and DIY and shit like that. Like I remember all these names clearly. I'm like, wow, that's gone. That's gone.
Yeah, man, that just goes to show you that like life goes quick.
It does, bro. I was just telling people the other day. My kid turned 16. I was just like, that's a blink of an eye, bro. And that's wild that how quick that came about. Because like I said, like I've said on the show before, I met Gabriel. Because Gabriel came in to be my replacement while I was going on paternity leave for my son to be born. So I've known Gabriel 16 years at this point, you know what I'm saying? And that's like my, the road dog. So it's like, it is wild how it's just like that. And it's funny to me how it goes, man. It's just the tick and the talk of it all.
Coming up in 2020, I'll be in this... And not I started off in the building we work in for 20 years. I mean 19. It'll be 19 years.
Yeah.
Time has like really flown.
Yeah. Yo.
Well, I had something to talk about before we got down this memory lane trip. So I thought I told this on the podcast a couple weeks back when I went to Orlando, but Anthony says that I didn't. So something happened last night this will lead into. So when I was at Universal Studios, we were in line to take the Hogwarts train over to the other park. Yeah. Because the park we were in was closing early that day for the Haunted Horror Nights. Yeah. And me, my sister, and her fiance were kind of tired. And my sister like tried to convince us to walk across, but I was like, why don't we just take the train? I'm like, who cares if we got to wait here in the line for a little while? I'm like, at least then we'll get to say we rode the train this time. Because the train itself, like, it's a train to take you between parks, but it's also kind of an experience. Yeah. They've got like a video screen inside each car, like if you ride in a car, and then they make it seem like they do in the movie, like the Dementors attack. And like,
it's actually the Hogwarts train.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hell yeah, you're taking a Hogwarts.
We did it. Like,
it goes from park to park.
Yeah, it goes back from park to park.
Yeah.
So we're in line, and this was the line where we got kind of pissed off because like we didn't have express passes, and it was getting to the point where like we got up to the front where like they were checking our tickets and were gonna let us through, and then they stopped us to let an entire line of express people go, and then we missed an entire train because they let everyone with an express pass go. Yeah. But like we're standing there, and there's like this family behind me, and they have like a little girl, like couldn't be more than like 4. And she had been holding her dad's hand, and like the family was talking amongst themselves and everything. And at one point, like, she was apparently not paying attention, and she walked up to me, and because me and her dad were both kind of bigger dudes, she, without even looking, just assumed I was her father.
Yeah.
And put her hand into my hand.
Yeah. Aw.
And then I looked down and I was like, "Excuse me, little girl, I'm not your dad." And then she looked up and then she freaked out.
Yeah.
Like, not like she didn't have like a panic attack.
Just like, oh,
but she was startled, like,
yeah.
"Oh no, you're not my dad." And I was like, "Hey," I'm like, "It's okay, here you go." And like,
pass it off.
pass her back. I was like, "It's all good, like, no worries." So I go to Sam's Club last night, and I go inside and I grab a shopping cart, and I'm walking in, and like half the time now they actually check to see if you have your membership, because I think they picked up on the fact that if you have the Sam's Club app, that your membership card's preloaded on it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you could have given your Sam's Club login to like everybody, and they could all be using your Sam's Club card to go buy stuff if you use the mobile checkout.
Yeah.
Oh.
So now they're cracking down again. Like I've been going to I've had a Sam's Club membership for a few years at this point,
Yeah.
and for the longest time, I could just walk in and out, and no one would bother. Like I go shopping in Sam's Club with earbuds in,
Yeah.
because I don't want to talk to people.
Please don't bother me. No, I don't want your samples.
Yeah. Well, the samples thing isn't really that big of a deal on a Wednesday
Yeah.
night, but if you go on a Saturday, yeah. But so I walk in yesterday, so I knew the protocol. I pulled it out of my wallet because I keep it behind my driver's license. I flash. It's just like at work now. They don't actually look to see whose it is. They just see that you have a card in your hand.
I should just make a card. I should just hold up a fucking play, for it's like a poker card. See what happens.
Yeah, they don't really check it because, like, at work, I had a sticker, a Black Panther sticker in front of my face.
I don't even like stop to show the guy the face. I just hold it up that I have something in my hand, and he goes, "All right, thanks. You're looking real good there." And I'm like, "You didn't even look at it, you fucking liar." But anyway, so I flashed the card, and the people who were in front of me, it was a family with a little girl.
Yeah.
And they were trying to find the card, and I don't know if the guy had it in his wallet or if the lady had it in her purse or whatever. But now keep in mind, I didn't mention this, but the family in the first part of the story, they were like Latino.
Okay.
So then,
You got some Latino heat.
yeah. So I walk in, and I'm like, I flashed my card, and the lady like let me go by. So I'm walking around them,
Yeah.
and the little girl is like starting to wander, and I'm like trying not to hit her, so like I stop pushing the cart, and then without even looking, she just grabs onto my cart and then starts trying to pull it away while it's like in my hand. So I was like, "Excuse me, miss." And then she looks back, and then she's just like, "Nah, it's my cart now." And she keeps trying to pull it, and the mom goes, she's like, "Let go of his cart." I was like, "Oh, it's cool. She just wants to do my shopping for me." So I like go and get a bunch of things that I needed, like trash bags and like all this piddly shit that I went there for. And I'm walking to go to the frozen foods, and I run into them again. Mm-hmm. And the little girl had been hanging on the side of their cart while the parents were standing there talking, and then she falls off and slides into the back of my cart. And like I saw it coming,
Yeah.
So I slid up before, like, because I'm like, this child is gonna fall off here. Sure shit, she did. And then she like bumps into my cart, and then mom looks. She goes, "Oh, it's you again." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what it is. But apparently, your kid's got some kind of asphyxiation with my cart."
I like that you exude a comfort
Yeah,
to
like,
all around you. You really do, man. It's like
yeah, these kids are like not terrified of me. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Like the little girl who grabbed my hand, she was just kind of like startled because she's like, I'm not her dad, but like she didn't have like a panic attack or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, it's because kids like I try and turn the gruffness down, and I like try and make it feel comfortable and everything.
You're just not that gruff, baby. I'm sorry. You used to be, but it's just nothing you carry anymore. I think you have shed that along with a lot of other shit.
I would never say you were gruff. You were a little bit defensive about stuff. You're not as defensive as you used to be about things.
Yeah.
Like people can say something, you're like, okay.
But I think that comes with not feeling like you have to prove yourself on everything anymore.
Yeah.
Just knowing yourself better and being like, this is who I am, baby. And guess what? I'm a guy who about to ride this train at Hogwarts. Let's get to it.
Oh yeah, I was all about that train. My sister could have pounded salt in that situation.
Yeah.
I was riding that
You
train.
can walk. I'll be right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those passes, like, I guess it'd be a great thing to have. But yeah, I don't experience that, like, especially at in Orlando. Like, you like right before the line, and then a whole group of motherfuckers just come like, yay! And they are not too ashamed to be like, ah!
Yeah, I paid more money than you.
Yeah, they will laugh at you and show the pass.
I was at the airport last night taking my mama back, and like we were in line waiting, and the gentleman announced first class and Delta whatever customers next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the dude standing there like, he was waiting in line. I go, yeah, but sorry, bro, I'm not first class. You are. And he was so embarrassed. I'm like, and I didn't want him to be embarrassed. It's not your fault, bro. You paid for the first class ticket. My mama didn't. It is what it is, bro. Relax, man. But I don't like it, but I do at the same time understand this idea of, pay your fare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or pay a little bit more. Like I said, I don't like going to the zoo on Mondays. It's a madhouse.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to have a good time when it's not free.
Yeah.
I'll pay the premium just to, have a good time.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I do pay. Like I pay a little extra on JetBlue. I'm not a JetBlue. I believe their whatever is mosaic status. I'm not mosaic status, but I do pay a little extra to get the bigger seats.
Yeah.
And I mean that means I'm in the first board, the second boarding group. I get on before even military, which I always thought was kind of dope. Like, all right, I'm even ahead of the veterans in this situation.
Yeah.
So only people get on before me is mosaic customers, and I think babies and strollers, and people who need a little extra assistance is how they word it.
Yeah.
But none before me after that. All y'all got to get back.
You might want to casual associate next time. Like, I need some assistance.
Walk with a limp. Oh man, it's cool. I paid for the seat. I know what seat it is, so ain't gonna be no whatever to me.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about this whole people on planes fighting over the window situation, like opening and closing.
No, I could see it, but no, I haven't heard that it's been happening.
Bruh. One I'd heard about it. My mother was telling me about it. She said her window, I guess, was just enough forward in her seat that it could have been a shared situation. And so she said she reached up and asked the guy in front of her, hey, you want to play open close with the window? Just because my mama's just like a jovial person like that, and I guess the person just left off. But I'm like, the very notion of if I pay for a window seat and I want that bitch open. Now the story I heard about it, somebody was in the middle and reached over and closed that motherfucking window, and I'm like, you can kiss my ass, dog. I paid for this window seat. I will do with this shade what I will do with this shade. You have no say over the matter anymore.
Yeah, but like if it's in the middle,
if it's like in that, like, you know how it is you just hanging over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would say maybe you could have a discussion, but I still say whoever got the majority of the window, it's your call.
Yeah, that's true.
You pay for it, but yeah, I'm like, no. If you pay for the window seat, you know what I'm saying? Let's say because I like the window seat. I like looking out the window. I truly do enjoy that part of the.
I love looking out the window for like 2 minutes, and then after that, like, I don't want the sun in my eyes anymore, and I'd be kind of bored.
I like trying to figure out where I'm at in relation to the ground beneath me. And I'm like, oh shit, this must be, I don't know, the desert. Like, oh, look at the way the mountains look. You know what I'm saying?
Like when I came back from I think it was when I came back from Orlando.
Yeah.
We got in like around like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And the plane came to downtown Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I got to fly over like Progressive Field and our office building and everything. So I got to see the roof of our building.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it cuts a hard turn and then flies back out to the airport.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like all that shit in between, like it's all kind of the same.
Yeah, you really can't.
And in the morning when because like a lot of times on a morning flight, you're trying to sleep. I don't want the sun in my eyes when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
But imagine if that person who was next to you was like, I want the sun.
But at that point, like, I'm not the type of person who's gonna like try and close that shade. I'm just gonna take my L, especially since I have the middle seat. But I know there are some bold people out there who will like put up a fight on some shit they have no right putting up a fight on.
Yeah, that is definitely the stamp of 2019.
I feel like the window seat, you control the window.
Yeah.
The aisle seat, like, you get the leg room. The middle seat, you went cheap, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Take your L. Hope for the best.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't go on any trips this year. I don't know. Well, besides us going to IKEA.
Yeah.
I hope I don't take any family trips this year.
Me and T are talking about our usual Toronto Indians
Excursion.
trip in July.
Yeah.
In July.
Yeah.
Because that's when they're playing.
They play in Toronto once this coming season, and it's in July.
Okay.
Right around the same time again, oddly enough. Like, around the same dates and everything.
And then I'm discussing going to Dallas for the Browns game next year. But I don't know when that'll be yet because the schedule's not out.
Yeah.
But
they're supposed to play in
They're
Dallas.
supposed to play in Dallas next year. I thought they were going to be playing in Vegas, but apparently not. So that may be the following year.
So when is the Vegas Raiders finally coming?
Next season.
Next season?
Yeah.
It's the last season in Oakland.
Yeah, the last game in Oakland's this weekend.
Nice. No, not nice, but you know.
Then their last 2 games are on the road. So this is the last Oakland Black Hole game this Sunday.
Oh man, that's wild.
I know, it sucks. Like, it makes me feel like, how could you get emotionally invested into a sports team, like, if they could just up and be like, you know what, we're moving to Vegas.
We've had our team taken from us before, so
I was too young though, and I didn't watch football to like fully appreciate that.
Yeah.
And like, but like, if like the Cavs were just be like, all right, we're going to Seattle. At
Seattle
that point,
Cavaliers.
Yeah, it's like at that point, it's like, what the fuck do I do with all this Cavs stuff that I have in my basement that has been
Save
part
it
of
for
my
10
whole life?
years and
Like,
sell it on eBay.
because I mean, that's literally what I'm thinking about lately. And then it's like the player movement. It's like, I understand the
They
free
talking about
market
trading
economy.
Kevin Love now right now.
And, yeah, but like part of it, he wants to go. But I get it because it's a rebuilding team. He's 31. He's only got a few more years left, and he wants to win. I have no ill will towards Kevin Love. He was the one left holding the bag after all the other guys got traded and left.
I never liked him. He can go to the Trailblazers.
I love Kevin Love. He's a handsome man.
Trailblazers, you say? Who would we get back for that?
No one we need. But no, it's like with all the player movement and everything, it makes it harder in my eyes for me to root for a team because I grew up watching like 90s basketball and stuff where it's like the teams had their stars and like they didn't really move on until like they were done. Like they were on like a year or 2 left in their career. Or like something drastic happens, like Charles Barkley gets traded to the Suns.
Yeah.
So it's like I grew up. Jordan was always on the Bulls, and Ewing was always on the Knicks until he,
Bird always on with Boston.
Yeah. So it's like that's what I grew up on. Now it's just like, well, my rookie deal's up, and I want to play in LA, so I'm just gonna leave. And it's like that shit happens so much now, where like. I saw something the other day where like they were talking about Adam Silver had an interview and they were asking questions about like is it in the NBA's best interest to have the Knicks good because it's a big market and everything, and he was kind of like, yeah, it's good if the Knicks are winning and this and that. And I'm thinking, well, if the Knicks are winning, then someone else isn't.
Yeah.
Because those wins got to come from somewhere. And I'm thinking, so it almost makes it feel like like markets like Cleveland or OKC and like small markets like this, like we're just fucking feeders for the big markets. Like, we put an NBA team there so we get more revenue, but we really want just LA and New York to win all the fucking time, or Boston.
But the Knicks ain't been winning in a very long time. So I mean, and people still go fill up the Garden. The Garden does pretty well. It's not an empty stadium.
I know, but it's like a sentiment to it.
I know it's the sentiment behind it that has you like. Yeah, that ain't cool, man. I don't like that notion that you try to tell me.
It's making me feel like putting my time and my heart into like a sports team.
Yeah.
It is no return.
But at the end of the day, you're a fan of the Cavaliers. Other than like you said you were a fan of Kevin Love, but at the end of the day, it's like these kids need to realize, hey, this is your team, not your player.
Yeah.
So like
It's the organization.
Yeah, like. I love the Mets. I couldn't name nobody to play for the Mets at all.
I watched. The thing about it was like you get attached.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love the Cavs first and foremost, but I loved watching Kyrie play basketball. That dude was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was gonna be here for the long haul, and it's like after a couple years, it's like crazy. The dude's clearly got like shit going on.
Yeah, he don't fuck with his teammates no matter where he goes.
But it's like I grew up, like I said, on the 90s, and it's like you would get invested.
Yeah.
And then it's like when the person's not there, it feels like a friendship or like a romanticism. Yeah. And so it sucks.
What's the last player that's done? Not the last player. I mean, whatever. What's a player that you like? That guy has really stuck with that team. You know what I'm saying? They're like just
Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
He's like talking about sticking out for the long haul. Now, granted, like who knows until it's over. But like fucking like Tim Duncan never left the Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Duncan never left the Spurs. Like
hell, he coached for him now, don't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like assistant.
Yes, that's what used to
Kobe
happen all
never
the
left
time.
the Lakers, even though they had a falling out, and he wanted out like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But he was there the whole time.
I kind of feel like I thought Westbrook was going to stay with OKC at first.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, he did sign that extension, so it's like he's got like 3 or 4 years on his current deal now. So it's like the Rockets didn't trade for an expiring. Like he was going to be there. It's just the team fucking imploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just like I remember as a kid, I had a Astro. I always wanted that Astro jersey ever since I seen Big Boy wearing it.
Yeah.
Like I'm always just been a fan of like, I like the symbol. Like, because I don't have no time for sports.
I like that Bucks Cream City jersey a lot.
A lot of jerseys look good to see.
It just doesn't feel anymore like teams are assembled and like grown and everything. It feels like mercenary work.
It is.
It literally is just the fan base is going to beg this dude to come here for like, and the way they always do it, it's like quiet. Like he signed for like 3 years and like the last year's like an opt out.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to fucking kiss this dude's ass for 2 years, suck his dick proverbially, and then it's like just pray to God that when that third year comes and he opts out, that he chooses to stick around.
Yeah, everybody's a mercenary.
Or you're left holding the bag.
But that's the way the collective bargaining in the NBA in particular has been set up.
But like, don't get me wrong. I understand that's good for the players for their well-being, and I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about from a fan's perspective. It's hard for me to invest into it.
You want the best for your team.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's like I don't feel like going through this shit every year where like we gotta fucking beg a dude to hang around, even though like our begging doesn't do shit. 'Cause he's gonna do his best for him and for him financially. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't like going through that every year. It's like it was like that with LeBron. Every fucking year, it's like, oh, he can opt out next year. You think he's gonna stick around?
Well, we was never gonna be in love with that. We was never gonna be attached to him. We just weren't. It was just too.
But it makes it like you can't enjoy it.
It was like it was like being an ugly dude with way too hot a chick.
Yeah, and you're always waiting for the other shoe to fall.
She's gonna realize I'm not.
I just kind of feel
she
like
can do better than me. You know what I'm saying?
if LeBron was born somewhere else, he would have never came play.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For sure.
I just feel like
and he only came back, I think, because like we dogged him so bad after he left the first time that he had to kind of like.
I think that was the best contract he was going to be able to get.
Yeah, one we had the dough for, but also, I mean, who knows?
Miami would have given him the max.
I don't know. I just feel like every year, like we're just in that state right now because you want to get your money while it's hot. Your career is not the longest. Like they keep on putting on all these stuff like when you can't come out of high school. Like it's all
They're talking about undoing that though for the 2022 draft. That's why a lot of teams are trying to get future first round picks.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about doing away with that.
Well, hopefully so because like these kids deserve their money. And
yeah, who cares if you suck ass?
Well, see,
that's on the team to gamble on you, not you to not be gambled on.
And now the NCAA has basically been like, all right, you can make money now. Fine, we guess. Starting, I believe that same season.
I think a lot of this too comes from the fact that now social media is bigger,
Yeah.
and it really is kind of like people banding together, and it's like the loud minority in a way. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it becomes this thing where like a lot of people before were probably saying it, but didn't have the same kind of push where people actually heard it. It'd be like us having this conversation, but it wouldn't go past this.
Yeah.
But now you have like podcasts and Twitter where people tweet at people, and there's more news sites and it's more readily available with the internet. Whereas before it was just print.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is a writer going to state his reputation on the thought of like challenging the NCAA? But now like you have so many people that are willing to do it, and with such a bigger reach that I think a lot of these like organizations can't help but have to fucking listen and reevaluate. Otherwise, like. Yeah, the NCAA is a monopoly, but like, what would stop? Maybe if someone could convince a couple colleges to break away, you could start another NCAA type of thing and like have some competition. Maybe like for all of Lamar Ball's like bullshit, Lavar Ball. I'm sorry, like. His thought of like start having like an alternative wasn't the craziest fucking thing.
Not to mention like letting his kid play overseas and like. And his son, like the youngest son, actually got way better.
Yeah, I remember watching some of his highlights before, and I was like, "This kid looks fucking awkward. He can't shoot." Yeah. But now he can
shoot the lights out.
He's becoming a little bit of a player. Like all of his sons shoot like Sean Marion, but like it's effective in a way.
Yeah. So it's. Yeah, like what you said with social media, you get to see these kids playing great, younger.
LeVar Ball's kids look like he taught him how to play basketball on a Papa Shot.
Maybe. That's why you already had.
They're snapping your
They're
wrist,
all in the
baby.
basement just fucking doing chest shots.
If that was the case, I would be in the NBA. I love Papa Shot. I want to get a good machine so bad.
I saw one downstairs in the mezzanine when I walked by earlier today to the restaurant. I was like, "What the hell is down there? What the
Yeah,
whose Papa Shot is that?"
Yeah, when we had our meeting the other day, they was talking about how now we can't go down there again. Like it was like a short window. It's like, well, nobody's down there. If you want to use it, we can. Now we can again. So we gotta eat at our desk for our luncheon.
That think I might dress nice tomorrow just for the fuck.
Oh, it's tomorrow?
It is tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I'm not dressing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any nice
I don't even know
clothes.
when I'm going.
Yeah. Actually, neither do I, cause
David sent out anything.
yeah. Basically, it's buffet style. There'll be like 12 o'clock lineup.
Oh, we're not doing the Silver Light
No,
Room thing?
no.
Oh, what the fuck?
I said the same thing, son. I
And
said
then,
the same thing.
like, my boss was, like, getting snippy with me. Like, if somebody was on the council
Like
still...
you wouldn't gonna pull that. You wouldn't go pull. I mean, you would have had.
I
guess
would've said something.
Yeah, you would have said something. But I mean,
And the thing that sucks about all that shit is they know that it's like a half-assed attempt at the shit we've been doing these last few years, but then they're gonna hover over us and watch us in that fucking line and be like, "Oh, you guys are having a great time, right?" Because it's not that they like think we're having a great time; it's they're fucking searching for negativity.
Yeah.
They're sniffing that shit out like Truffle Hounds because they want to stamp it out because they want to keep us all fucking quiet.
Well, I'm telling you, he takes that stuff to heart. He is definitely not the person.
I'm not saying he's the one who makes the final call. I'm just saying I know how the action is going to be tomorrow because I know how he like acts at these events.
He tries to pull it together. He wants to make everybody happy.
Exactly.
And you can't make everybody happy. And that was one of the main things I said in the room. Like, look, let's focus on the people who are saying positive shit. And like I said, when I have an event and 15 people show up, that's the 15 people I fuck with. I'm not worried about the other
Man,
yeah.
I joined that book club, and on the first day, we had damn near 30 people. By the second meeting, we were down to like 12, and then by the end, we were down to 10. Now, granted, a few of them were no longer with us. But we went from like damn near 30 people. They got their free book, and then they never came back. I wrote that shit out, and they're like, people around me who like went with me on the day one who were in my department are like, why do you keep going? I'm like, because I made a commitment. I'm not going to just stop showing up. Because, like, you got your free book, keep your free book, but I'm going to keep doing what I said I was going to do.
Where's that lady that sits in front of you?
Oh, I heard FMLA.
Oh, good for her. So, anywho, yeah, so it's going to be, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to go back to my desk because it takes away from everything. Like, you get to sit and talk to, like, I work with all these
strangers.
people.
I usually get to talk to people who I don't really know that well.
Yeah, or like I don't get to talk to AK that much. I mean, Carla sit
I
behind
ain't even
me.
seen her in a while.
Yeah, like I don't. We talk like, hey, how's it going? But we don't. We sit down and talk about the food and have fun and.
Chalk it up, laugh about. Look at this weird bean.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna eat this, so give it to me.
Oh, that coffee girls don't fuck with it. Oh, this year's dessert is pretty tasty.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, this is dessert. That's all.
Yeah.
That's always the fun part because
I will
people leave
say,
it on the table.
I didn't like going to that room and like it was always awkward because it always seemed like I had to hunt for a seat. But like I liked having the conversation and like
I like doing the
And I would like to tell you, we always save a seat for you at the table.
yeah, it was always that's in case you come through. But also it was just nice to like do the awards. You know what I'm saying? Reward, you know, like,
raffle
the
prizes.
raffle, like your table won. Everybody like just hyping the table. And I don't know if any of this is gonna make the show because it's very specific to us. But I was very upset when they first put this out there and it was like on site, and I'm like, oh, so this is just what it is this year. We ain't doing nothing.
And then like a person in our working our department was like, well, somebody got food poisoning last year. And I was like, it's the same food. You can't get poisoned from the venue. I mean, it's the same people cooking it.
Yeah.
The venue has nothing to do with that. It's like, well, that's what I heard. I was just like, whatever, man. It's not the venue.
now I was like I'm not even sure if I'm gonna participate.
I mean, it's not really
But
nothing
then,
to
like-
participate about.
Well, I mean like I may get my food. Like I was thinking about packing, but if I eat it, that means I don't have to go home and pack after bowling tonight.
Yeah,
So it's a 50-50. Oh shit, we gotta get back.
All right. Hey, that was a bunch of talk that may or may not have made it into this episode. Or at least was heavily edited because it had to have been. But that's us. Out here doing the damn thing. Our missing man is at the real ODP. Send us some love. That is Lunchbox. I don't know why I pointed to Anthony when I said that, but
They didn't know that. You said it.
my thumb was just like that. Is Lunchbox 2099. That is Tatum 216. I am the
You should
internet.
change your box to, your name to Lunchbox 216, and I'll be Tatum 2099.
I am the internet stereo 713. You've just been podcasting. I know you loved it. Peace.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.